Are you looking for the best hedge trimmers? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best trimmers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Husqvarna Hedgemaster 320 IHD 60 Electric Hedge Trimmer. When I start up a Husqvarna power tool, whether it's an electric chainsaw, string trimmer, or hedge trimmer, I expect a certain level of performance and quality, so I had high expectations for the 320 IHD 60 hedge trimmer. It did not disappoint. Similar to the Husqvarna PowerAxe 350i chainsaw, the Hedgemaster 320 IHD 60 delivers impressive power and performance, but doesn't make you feel like you're using heavy machinery. It transfers little vibration to the operator and produces minimal noise, just 67 decibels. When I first cranked it up, I assumed it would be a lighter, less powerful machine. Well, you know what they say about assumptions. At 3,800 cuts per minute and a set of high-quality blades, the 320 IHD 60 carved through my rose bushes easily, gliding through even thicker branches with little effort. It also features a boost mode, which speeds up the cutting mechanism even further at the expense of battery life. It has a number of unique features that make life easier for veteran trimmers. Where many hedge trimmers use a rotatable handle for increased maneuverability, the 320 IHD 60 has a handle with 3 separate grips, each with its own trigger. The design allowed me to easily adjust cutting angles by switching from one grip to another, hand over hand. And if you bite off more than the trimmer can chew, there's a reverse button that allows you ease off a thicker branch when you get jammed. None of the other trimmers I tested had this feature. Last but not least, this was the only hedge trimmer I tested that came with a sweeper attachment, which let me brush clippings aside as I worked. While I generally had a great experience with the 320 IHD 60, it isn't perfect. At nearly 13 pounds with a battery, this is a heavy trimmer. The weight is well balanced, but I definitely started feeling the burn about 20 minutes into my trimming test. It is also notably more expensive than the other trimmers I tested. Still, if you don't mind paying for the best and maybe getting in a workout, you won't find a better all-around hedge trimmer. At number 2. WORX Nitro 40V, 24-inch electric hedge trimmer. The WORX WG286 is surprisingly powerful for an affordable cordless hedge trimmer. Using two 20-volt batteries, it produces cutting speeds of up to 3,400 strokes per minute. That doesn't match the fastest trimmers on our list, but it isn't far behind either. I noticed only a small difference between its performance pruning my hedges, and what I got from trimmers that cost $100 more. That said, when the going got tough and I faced thicker stems on my rose bushes, the WORX struggled to keep up. Still, I was impressed with the job, given its price. The build quality also leaves something to be desired. The plastic frame feels thin, and it lacks rubberized grips. As with many of the cordless hedge trimmers I tested, this WORX Nitro features a rotating handle with 5 positions that you can adjust on the fly. It was particularly helpful when I trimmed large bushes, giving me the ability to switch angles easily as I worked around them. This was the only hedge trimmer I tested in this round that runs on multiple batteries. I prefer it, frankly, as using smaller batteries generally minimizes weight, making it easier to use when going up high to make cuts above shoulder height or over longer hedge trimming efforts. Also, since I already had a couple 20V cordless tools, I had backup batteries in hand to make quick swaps and keep trimming. The WORX Nitro WG286 is an impressive lightweight option if you're looking to keep your budget down to $200 or less. So long as you don't have anything too gnarly to trim, it should outperform its price. At number 3. Craftsman V 20-18-inch electric pole hedge trimmer. If you need to extend your reach to trim the tops of hedges above your head, this Craftsman pole hedge trimmer is lightweight and produces decent cutting power in a pole saw style form factor. The entire pole saw measures 6 feet, 8 inches from the back of the handle to the tip of the blade, so I had no problem reaching the top of an 8-foot tall bush in my front yard. It's a lot of reach, but the pole isn't adjustable, so trimming small bushes in the lower halves of hedges felt a bit awkward. The 18-inch cutting bar head adjusts to 5 different angles, which allowed me to adjust the head to suit the type of cut I was making. I kept the head straight while working down the sides, then adjusted it to 90 degrees to trim the top. While I didn't have anything taller to trim, I probably could have comfortably reached another 2 to 3 feet up without too much difficulty. It weighs just under 11 pounds, which would be heavy for a standard trimmer, but is actually on the light side for a model with this kind of reach. I didn't have any problem holding it up or maneuvering it around to maintain the hedge's shape. It helps that the adjustable head made it much easier to be precise at a distance. There is a trade-off for the lightweight design, though. The Craftsman's 20-volt motor is the smallest I tested, and I could feel the difference. The blades cut well enough, but at a lower speed. That forced me to move at a slower pace than I would have with a more powerful pole trimmer. Luckily, the battery gives you a surprisingly long run time, though the charge time is just as long. While it may not be pro-grade, the Craftsman V20 gives you great control and great reach. It's a perfect fit for homeowners who have a few very tall bushes and hedges mixed in with their standard height yard work. At number 4. Greenworks Pro Ultrapower 60V, 26-inch electric hedge trimmer. The Greenworks 60V trimmer offers strong cutting performance at a fairly affordable price. It runs at a slower speed than any of the other hedge trimmers I tested, just 3,200 cuts per minute. What it lacks in speed, it makes up for with power. Its 60-volt motor and battery makes it capable of cutting through branches up to 1.1 inches thick. I was impressed with how easily it chewed through the woodier branches on the large bush that dominates my front yard. Similar to other cordless hedge trimmers we tested, the Greenworks Pro has a rotatable handle with a release you can access without taking your hand off the trigger. Unlike the WORX and the Ego, however, the Greenworks handle only rotates to 3 positions. With fewer positions, I found myself contorting my body to make even cuts around my larger bushes. Though I will give Greenworks credit for making a well-balanced trimmer that I could handle in awkward positions, I would have preferred a more adjustable handle that didn't force me to do yardwork gymnastics. I also noticed a slightly longer wind-up time than the other hedge trimmers. Most of the models I tested revved up to full speed instantaneously, but it took the Greenworks a couple of seconds to reach full cutting speed. A couple of seconds isn't going to make a difference in most situations, but it reflects the tool's slow but powerful profile. Frankly, the thing I liked most about the Greenworks 60-volt hedge trimmer was its price. Though it's a bit heavy and slow to start, it can chew through deep hedge branches and costs about the same as the WORX. With that in mind, I'd recommend it as a budget-conscious alternative for folks with large, dense hedges and bushes. At number 5. EcoPower Plus 26-inch electric hedge trimmer. The EcoPower Plus HT2601 keeps with the brand's tradition of producing powerful cordless electric yard tools. It outmuscled the competition in my tests, with a 26-inch cutting bar and a 56-volt motor, giving it the power to slice through stems up to 1.2 inches in diameter. That added length and cutting capacity was particularly helpful when I went to tame a 6-foot-tall bush that was horning in on the front walk of my house. The HT2601 had no problem slicing through both thin outer stems and thick interior branches. Just remember that with more power, comes more weight. The Ego weighs nearly 10 pounds, which starts to feel heavier than you'd expect after a full day of yard work. The weight is well balanced, but I certainly felt it in my arms on test day. Like the WORX, the Ego has a 5-point rotating handle, with a trigger release that makes it easy to adjust on the fly. I was able to make horizontal cuts, then quickly rotate the handle to drop down the side of the bush with a vertical cut. I appreciated its durable build as well, with a sturdy plastic body that felt like it could take a beating, and a carbon fiber cutting bar. If your property has a considerable amount of hedges and bushes to manage, the Ego's high cutting capacity, long bar and ample power make it an ideal tool for the job.